Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ozzy's Drives. Today we're presenting the ultimate BMW, the masterclass and the most innovative car that they actually have up until today. Before we start the review, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a like. Thank you to Hedin Automotive for sponsoring us with this beautiful machine. Let's start with the review. Today we have a lot to talk about because the 7 Series is as controversial as it looks. It reminds me a little bit of the E65 7 Series that came out in 2005 that looked so ugly to the public's eye. And here we have the latest 7 Series that completely transformed everything that we knew up until today, especially with the headlamps design and the grille that they completely changed. So let's begin here. We have something that is called the iconic glow, which is of course an extra, costs you a lot of money, and it has Swarovski crystals integrated into this headlamp at the front. Does very fancy things in the night. We will put in some pictures from that into the review. Then we have the BMW LED underneath. It's also very interesting because it is the first time that it has been integrated into the front mask. It's really something else. I've never seen that on a BMW before. Then those big 2 grills, and this car is electric and we have so many engine options that we have to talk about, but this one is the 7 Series Xdrive60, which means we have 544 horsepower and 740 newton meters of torque. But there will be a bunch of stuff we could talk about. Let me pop the hood and show you what I mean, because the amount of engines you can get for that car is really funny. So here, when I pop the hood, you can see this should be an engine, but we don't have an engine here. We just have this plastic cover that is showing the engine or hiding what is underneath, which is basically nothing. But you would have the 735i in the US, you would have the 740, you would have the 740 diesel, you also have the 750e, which is a B58 engine hybrid. Then you have the 750 or the 50i, which is an Xdrive60 basically electric engine. You have the 60 and you have the 70, so many engine variations. This one is the second strongest. It's the Xdrive60, 544 horsepower, 740 newton meters of torque, accelerates the car from 0 to 100 in 4.7 seconds and tops out at 240 kph. Let's progress a little further to the design on the side. So the car is pretty interesting because it has 2.8 tons, okay? It's almost scratching at 2.9 tons, which makes it one of the heaviest BMWs ever. It's almost not road legal because you can only drive, for example, in Europe, up to 3.5 tons with a normal driver's license. But here we have this big car, the longest they have ever brought out, and there is no long version or short version anymore. This is it, 5 meters and 40 in length. It's absolutely insane. You could get it in 2 tones, upper tone a different color than the lower tone. This is the frozen gray, so very, very interesting. It's a nice color because you can just wash it down and all the dirt disappears. Then you come to the back. Of course, they have to have special tires to withhold that massive body and that massive weight, especially when you're driving a little bit faster. And then the rear. The rear, in my opinion, is absolutely fabulous. I love everything about the rear. It looks beautiful. It has fancy elements, design here. This is typical BMW. I like the rear. The front is controversial. It's a little bit different, but the rear is beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful 2-tone taillight, red and black, very nice. The i7 badge, BMW, because this is electric with the integrated camera into the BMW logo plus that blue. It looks very nice. Then of course a little button to open the trunk, or you could do it this way and it opens it for yourself. Very, very nice. Talking about the trunk, we have something here. As you can see, this is the plateau that they put into the car. Let me tell you about the price of it, okay? So the car came out as a base 169,900 Swiss francs, okay? But we got a bunch of stuff like the frozen pure gray metallic. You pay 5 grand for that. You have the M Sport package, you have the individual package. You have so many stuff, executive package, panoramic glass roof, and all of that brings the car to 241,000 Swiss francs. That's insane, man. That's absolutely insane. 2.9 tons. And a total reach of about 540 kilometers. So they say 600 600 kilometers VLTP or WLTP, but I can't really believe that. I think you can manage 450 to 500 kilometers at max, which is okay. And it has a very fast charging port actually. And when you come to this side, as you can see, it has AC and DC, which means you can quick charge it with 250 kilowatt hours quick charger. And I charge the car up from 20% to 80% in about 25 minutes, and from 80% to 100% in about 21 minutes with the quickest charger. So I guess that's okay, that's typical. Still, I would get the diesel. I think we should go and talk about the interior, because that is very special. So since we got the ultimate package of the 7 Series and it progressed to incredible advanced stuff, you don't have to open the door yourself. It's an automatic door, costs like 2K just to have automatic doors. And you approach the car, it's a little bit difficult at first because you have 2 buttons. First of all, this is the normal way I would open a door, but when I step back, it doesn't open it automatically because it thinks I want to open it myself. If I go here and press that button and step away, now it opens the door. Watch what happens, and I can close it of course automatically, press of a button. Watch what happens when I stand right next to the door and try to open it. It stops right before me. Why? Because this is the first BMW that has side sensors. As you can see here, we have a lot of sensors integrated into the side skirt that basically scan the way around you, and if it approaches an object, it stops the door from opening. So very fancy, look at that. Now when you get inside, you step in, you don't have to close the door yourself. There's 2 things you can do. First of all, I can just step on the brake, which will close the door automatically, or I just press this button here and it does that for me. Let's hop into the interior of the BMW 7 Series, because here is where it really shines bright. So for that, I just close the door with my foot. I apply the brake, it closes. The exterior of a 7 Series looks always very fancy, very broad, you know, exclusive, exquisite and brutal, in my opinion. Then we have the interior, and the interior is the main focus, because when you buy a 7 Series, you want to have the ultimate luxury. And with this package, with the car that we have today, we are 100% sure that this is the maximum you can get. So for example, let's split this in 2. So we have to talk about the materials, and then we have to talk about the technology and the possibility for you to relax in this car. Starting with the materials, we have a bunch of leather, wool and cashmere used. This is the merino leather, for example, here in the armrest and on the upper part of the seat. Also on the door here on the top, steering wheel, and across the dashboard, for example, everything you see there is merino leather. Then we have cashmere used for the seat, which is, by the way, a new design seat with a new pattern so that you feel more comfortable sitting inside it. And then we have wool that is actually being used for the carpets. So that is so incredibly fancy. Sitting inside this car, it has a different smell. It's something completely new. On the top we have Alcantara, and it's all a part of this sustainable material used. I don't know how sustainable leather really is if you really think about it. You could have just done everything in leather, but they used cashmere, wool and all of that just to go in that sustainability road. What we also have is a bunch of crystals used. For example, here in the iDrive system we have crystals. We have crystal for the gear lever. We have glass for the start and stop button. We have even crystal glass here for the volume adjustment. That is very interesting. Other than that, a little bit of carbon fiber used here, also on the dashboard, right underneath the screen. And then there is this glass kind of reflection, but this is actually plastic if I'm not mistaken. So what it does is, in the night you have this ambiente light that shines really in broad, bright colors, and it's really interesting to sit in the car, especially driving at night. We'll put some shots in there so you can check, or we put it in the vlog so you can see how the night drive really is. But what it does is it gives you kind of this flowing light rivers somehow that shows you all kinds of colors and different animations for you to feel special in it. It is really an incredible interior. We have the big screens in the front, and you can do all kinds of stuff. So those were the materials used for the interior. What we also have to talk about is the packages. There's a bunch of packages inside this car. We have the Connoisseur package, we have the Sky Lounge, we have the Executive package, we have the M package. Everything has been put inside of the car. So we should start with something that is very interesting. For example, the sound package. What do we have here? So they use Bauer and Wilkins sound systems. This alone costs almost 10,000 Swiss francs. But let me tell you, it is a wonderful sound experience. Hans Zimmer composed most of the sounds that they use here, for example, when you change the modes. With that said, I think we should go into the technology, because now it gets really interesting. So let's start with the behavior and the style of the car. For example, we have modes. Modes are different experiences that BMW will give you when you sit in this car. For example, we have personal, we have sport, efficient, expressive, relaxed, theater, and digital art. Personal is what you want it to be, so you can adjust it. You can put your massaging function in, because this has the Connoisseur package, or whatever you want to do. When you put it in sport, the car becomes a little bit more aggressive. It becomes a little bit faster on the throttle, and everything in here, you can even see it in the daylight, changes to red. Even the speedometer has a new design, so it changes completely. It's a different look. When you change then to my modes, go to efficient, it trims everything to efficient. So it sets down the climate control, it sets down the power or the throttle response. What it also does is all the fancy gadgets, massaging seats are off, and you have this blue kind of style here. Also, you can see it even in the daylight. Then you change my modes. You can go to relax or expressive. In my opinion, it's one of the best. It changes the colors once again, and you have a sound animation when you accelerate and brake. Goes a little bit on my nerves with the time, but listen to that. I'll step on the throttle while we stand, and it gives an kind of this movie sound. So they really tried to give you a lot for what you're missing with an electric engine. But we talked about the engine options. You have still petrol engines to choose from. Then we have relax, closes down the roof, which is also automatic. You don't have the Sky Lounge, which would change the color, and it really relaxes you. Then we have something else, which is called theater mode. That's my favorite. You heard that? That's crazy. I'll open the sunroof so you see me a little bit better, and especially the interior. But what it does, it closes the font, it closes the sunroof, and everything, all the rolls are up. So the car has been darkened, because this theater mode is for the passenger seats, the back passenger seats, so they can enjoy a beautiful drive, beautiful sound experience, and especially the 8K screen in the back. It's absolutely ridiculous. In terms of driving, not much options actually. You put it in sport, it becomes a little bit harder, and that's it. The steering wheel becomes a little bit harder, and the acceleration is a little more aggressive. You have one more option to make the car go faster, and it's the boost mode. It's kind of in the downshift position. What it does here, it puts the car for 10 seconds into sport if you want to overtake somebody, and that's it. That's it for the driving experience, or for the front passenger row. I think we should go to the back and see what it's really about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the back, because here is where the party starts. All right, so I close the door, and I have a bunch of things that I can do. First of all, I sit Very comfortable in here. As you can see, I have those pillows at the back. This is the individual package. Cashmere wool, as I said, very nice. Then we have screens on the side of the door. So what I do here is I start to relax. First of all, I like when my arm has a place to rest, okay, like this. And then I can choose seats. When I go to seats, there's a bunch of options, especially on the right side of the back passenger's seat, because I can adjust it in a laying position. Let me show you that. Press that button. The lounge position goes into place. This has the lounge package, the executive lounge package, which means the front seat will now go into a position where I can actually lay inside of this car. So I will have a position where I could sleep, where my legs are in an upward position, and I'll just relax. Have a look at that. Everything's setting up, all right. It lifts my legs. Kind of a strange feeling, to be honest, at the beginning. And then you just do this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Holy shit, that is so comfortable. All right, so if that wasn't enough, what you do is you go to massage and you press massage. All right, so I'm getting massaged while I lay in the 7 Series. I feel so relaxed. Since I work for Xdrive so much, I can't even sleep anymore. I could fall asleep right now. I swear to God, I could fall asleep right now. You can charge your phone while you sleep here. And where's the cup holders? Where could the cup holders be while I'm getting a massage? I need a drink. Where are they? Well, here. I charge my phone here in the front. I press this little button like this, open it up, press this button, and here they are. Your cup holders, fantastically and very clever integrated into your armrest. Beautiful. And what I can also do is, well, we have a long drive kind of. I set the massaging function to the absolute maximum. We have a long drive. I can change the climate control in the back. So we have fully climate control on every single seat. It pumps air or takes air out of you to cool your ass while you're sitting inside here. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I can just go here, go to cooling option, and I cool my rear seat. You can even hear it right behind you. It cools everything. The whole body will get cooled by this seat. It's absolutely ridiculous the amount of luxury you can have in a car nowadays. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then the best thing is, let's say you have everything now. You've changed everything. You're sitting comfortably, but you want to watch TV. Well, press here, Fire TV, and now you go to theater mode. The upper part we're docking down. The screen will come to life, and I can now watch television, man. Amazon TV. Let's use Germany. It's touchscreen, or use that. Okay, it's okay. Thank you. That's it. That's it. You can now connect to your Amazon. You can connect to your phone. You can do all kinds of stuff. Listen to audio. You can even put something in the HDMI place here. Your console if you want, and game while you drive in your 7 Series. And if the screen is too far away, or do you want it to be tilted a little bit more, press the button and it tilts a little bit more to me. Or you can even zoom into the screen. You can say I want a 16:9 ratio, I want a 21:9, or a 32.9 through the whole bandwidth. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you can adjust the brightness of the screen in the back. You notice the font left and right, even in the back, it's darkened completely. You can't even see outside, but you don't need to because you have so many cameras. Talking about cameras, let's look at some technical specs on the 7 Series in the driver's position. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me go through the infotainment system of the BMW i7. So for that, you press home button. everything you see here is touchscreen. I can just go into the menu and now I have a bunch of stuff. We won't go into every single detail, but I will show you the most important one important ones in my opinion. For example, you have the BMW ID here. You can connect your ID via your email address, register yourself, and then you have all your necessary features in every single BMW with the new infotainment system. That is very good because then it's already connected and so on. What you also have is a bunch of stuff. Personal assistant, for example. You go here, you can give commands to the car, so it saves your commands, and you can use it to make the car, the volume adjusted louder, or go to the navigation system, etc. You can kind of adjust it to your habits so it understands who you are. That's why you need the ID too. Then you have a bunch of stuff. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and all of that. That is pretty basic. Phone navigation system and my modes that I explained before. Here you have all the modes that BMW provides you to change the car's behavior and the overall experience, as I said, with expressive mode, efficient mode, and all of that. You go into the menu once again. You can charge your phone, you can check the weather, you can look at the news, you even have a podcast function or live vehicle. I think that is interesting because here you can check your car, what is going on, what are the data, is everything all right, what is going on with the car, with the engine, when is the next service, how much did I actually use in kilowatt hours or fuel in the diesel versions. Very interesting, and it displays the car. That is also nice, even in the right color. When you go to menu once again, you have the Innenbeleuchtung, which means the interior lights. That is also very interesting. If you don't like the modes, you can change the ambiente light setting here and change the color completely. But you have to go to your personal mode to show that, because I was in efficient. Just go here, do that one more time. Interior light, ambiente, I can change it to all kinds of stuff. Pearl, azure, whatever I want. There's a bunch of different color options that I can choose from. Very, very cool. Go outside, go to menu once again, go down. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. What I think is interesting though is the habit automation mode, because I can go in here and say, all right, let's say you go into a tunnel and you want to hear the sound every single day. You can adjust it to set to open the window at the same time every single time you drive through that tunnel. So that is very interesting. You also have YouTube, you have a bunch of stuff. What is also interesting, it's the seat comfort. Here you can adjust the seats front, back, left and right, passenger, the climate control, and all of that. Very interesting. There's not physical button for the climates anymore. It's all in those iDrive touchscreen screens here. Very, very fancy. Then we have the second screen here that you can see. You have so many also options. You can change the speedometer design in a bunch of ways. You can go to sport, it changes it. If you go to, for example, efficient, it changes. If you go to expressive, it changes it completely and displays you some stuff. It's very fancy, very interesting. And also you can change the appearance here with the steering wheel, with the button of the steering wheel. And of course you have a head-up display. What did you think? Did you think you don't have a head-up display? Front camera with augmented view that shows you any dangers. It is so much stuff, man. It's incredible. And of course, if you want to check all the cameras, press P here in the touchscreen and it shows you all the cameras, for example, on the other screen. Very, very interesting. And you have assistancies to park your car. You have so much stuff, man. It's incredible. You can't even talk about it, man. You have to experience it. There's so much stuff. It's crazy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is as far as we can take it with the BMW 7 Series. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, check out headinautomotive.ch, help us out, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.